Hi everyone, and thanks for checking out my channel. I'm going to have a look at WTI crude oil for a start tonight, having a look at what happened last week, what worked and what didn't really work, and also having a look at the quote report, potentially starting with that. So yes, let's get started. So the quote report from the 9th to the 16th last week is showing again open interest dropping, so that's going in the direction I saying that we are about to see some reversal or at least a temporary consolidation on WTI. The managed money reduced long position, so from above 400 K contracts dropped that now lower. We can also see that we have some trimming on long position pretty much everywhere, and also having even the swap dealer reducing their position. So I think this is definitely bearish in terms of the price on crude oil, and especially now that we're approaching some very key level. We've seen, so last week my plan that didn't work well was to short alongside that trend line we had here. Clearly didn't actually anticipate so much buying pressure at that level. We did break out that level at 38 actually quite easily, even in just one go after one attempt here, and the second one went through. So it was a failed trade on my side, so loaded short here between 38 30 and exited on that breakout. Thankfully I did reload shorts higher, and that one was successful. I put a small video to follow this, just to detail that trade, because that's something again I'm like to do more and avoid that kind of trade, whereas weak trend line are usually a bit dangerous, especially far away from key horizontal resistance to actually enter short. So that didn't work, ending the week average on WTI, when actually it was potentially quite a nice trade from the bottom here at 37, finishing at 40 on the long side. But again, I'm a bit cautious now, because I'm not sure that buying dips and going long on WTI is the right thing to do at the moment. It's too dangerous, too exposed. We can see that the production has reduced, but is struggling to actually drop much lower at 11 MBD. So I'm really not confident that we're going to see a major move on WTI in the coming days, especially approaching the end of the second quarter. We are going to see profit taking, and it's getting a little bit obvious with some really large red candle, very big, that we can see here, at offloading the price really quickly and sharply, and especially what happened on Friday. So I'll be really cautious buying in WTI at that price, and instead I'll be more looking at actually enter short position. So ideal scenario, so we had that daily divergence, that hourly divergence, sorry, on Friday. That thing did played out and it's been cleared, so it's probably not something we should trade anymore. But having said that, because we're having that trend line reference now, what I would like to see is an attempt early next week. So the contract is going to open slightly higher, that's helping a little bit as well. Trying to break higher here, potentially we could go up to 41 and fill the gap for good with strong rejection. I believe it's a bit of a stretch from that point. It's all about a good dollar up, which is a little bit too much for such a for the momentum we're having here, but you could actually extend slightly higher here, getting to 66 on the RSI, and then we would get some confirmation on the 4 hours. Should we have this happening like that, move up there, somewhere here, solid rejection on that point, and here setting a divergence on the 4 hours, that would be a good short entry point, because the drop could potentially at least go down to 37, which is somehow the pivot point of the range we had, but we could almost expect some further downside and breaking lower to the lower side of the range at 34. So that would make it for a really nice trade. Could easily have the stop loss sitting a bit higher, because the momentum will be really high, overbought. That would be relatively safe to trade. I think the market are likely to be under pressure as well, so that will help again. And I believe that that kind of move we had on Friday here is not something that's driven by the funds, but only by FOMO traders trying to catch up to the bid in the hope that we are going to break that level and fill the gap and potentially even moving higher. Don't believe this is for now. I believe that that trend line here will cause some resistance on the way down, but unlikely to actually stop it for good. So I think it will be a relatively safe trade. I'm not looking at a long entry on WTI. It's going to be too dangerous. Should we break above 40 here, we're going to get some buying entering here and a bull trap very likely up to 41. Way too dangerous to trying to trade that kind of breakout, so that will end very likely in a false breakout. So I'd rather go short on this and follow the smart money should they actually continue to reduce their long position. So yeah, that's about it for WTI. I wish you good trade, success, and trade safe, and I speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.